Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I thought... Okay, let's try this again. Welcome in, everyone. How are y'all doing? I thought I was unmuted. Apparently I didn't actually press the button. But yeah, I guess Monkey Mandry, I posted the theme. And then I had also asked, I'm spooky. How am I spooky? And then when Nova came in, I was like, whoa, Nova, it's been forever. It's been a whole 10 minutes. But yeah, how are all of you doing? So we should just select this first one. Doing nice and cozy. Good, good. Oh, this error. So we've gotten a couple ones. This one's claiming we're writing to multiple swap chain back buffers at once. But we only do one single write, so it's a little weird. My suspicion is I've messed something up with my CPU descriptor allocator. Since this is the first time we're actually using them, it's most likely a bug there. So our offset's 0. So we're going to subtract 1 and add 1. I don't know why this is now. Visual Studio is being a bit weird right now. Oh, that's why. So we have a stride of 32, a pointer of my base pointer plus my count. So that's not going to be correct. So my strategy lane is I commit when I finish a chunk of stuff I'm working on. So my current task is getting descriptors up and going. And we're about halfway through. I wonder, I don't even remember what my last commit was. Oh, okay. It actually was the CPU visible descriptors. So for DirectX 12, if you want to use shader model, I think it's 6.6 and all the features in DirectX 12 that come with it, you have to use the Agility SDK. You're not supposed to use your local D3D12 SDK because it might not be up to date. It's a little weird. It's very strange to set up, but the short of it is you use those headers for D3D12, and then you have to export these two variables. Denari, Scully, how are y'all doing? So we're not actually freeing the Sorry if my voice gives out. I have a persistent cough and it just won't go away. I'm doing better. Well, I'm glad, it's good to hear. I hope the sickness goes away. So, this isn't correct, because this will always offset it from your base. And we have to also do it from the offset, not the counts. Which might actually explain why we're writing to multiple back buffers. Num handles, okay. So let's go ahead and get this page index set, because that was something I forgot to do. So let me also do you know what? This is supposed to be U8, I think. Because max pages is 256. Oh, is there a new Latour game? Return to Moria. How is it? I know the last Lord of the Rings game, the Gollum game, is being held as one of the worst games of all time. But thankfully King Kong recently came out to take its place. Rolling over in his grave at Gollum. Yeah. Wait, why am I doing it like this? far better approach. We're rolling. Let's roll. Oh my gosh, my voice. Oh, that's a wonderful emote, Scully. Well, very. I'm doing all right. Struggling a bit to talk, but all right. How is the very doing? Slowly getting tired. We're gonna play one more round to survive. Heck yeah, but isn't that also really long? And I'm glad you like the typing sounds. We got it. We're clearing the swap chain image. Shh, one more round. Of course. Of course. So those should properly zero initialize. Cool. Wait, what do you mean pink coffee? Welcome in, Henrik. How are you doing? I'm doing all right. When your screen is pink, your coffee gets pink. Wait, what'd I do? Oh, I have types in here I haven't actually implemented yet. I was prototyping some structures, trying to figure out how I wanted to organize the next step. Oh, it does. That's wonderful. Oh, hello there, Patty Wax. How are you doing? You know what? I want to call this the frame count, not G-frame. We're going to start pulling things in and organizing them a bit better. Mods G or to be C frame something 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 C max frame cache. There we go. Oh, so we can't actually initialize this. Because of a const member. I think that's okay. Or not the const member, but the ref member. Okay, but before we get into those weeds, hold on. I call it max frame cache. Then don't implement it. It's a simple type. Let me copy it. C++. was walking around in soaking wet socks for most of the day. Oh my gosh, that is horrible. I got to replace your worn out shoes. I got a new pair of Tootsie Roll high top socks on your way back. Now that is cool. I have never heard of Tootsie Roll high top socks. So now I gotta Google this. Oh, they're quite literally Tootsie Roll. Heck yeah. So this is strange. I'm trying to take a reference, but C++ is trying to copy it. Why? Yes, all the more cozy socks. Oh, it's just a Halloween thing? That needs to be a year-round thing. You know what? We're gonna put that on pause. And we'll revisit it in a moment. I'm gonna formalize my swap chain. Cozy funny, especially if they got the grippy. Oh, yes. Most definitely. Although, I want these here. And I think we're gonna stick them here. If possible. We're gonna try and avoid pulling in. Well, we're gonna have to anyway, so that's not really worth it. Fitting name for someone who likes wacky socks. Patty Wax Knickknacks. For real. PIM info. Unfortunately, this is all boilerplate because I've already written the code. I just have to get it into the format I want. Oh, I'm gonna have to actually include that. Gosh darn it. So, in case someone wants to declare an array has an upper bound using that, I like that a bit more than declaring this everywhere. At least for color code, I'm trying to reduce how much the renderer needs to interact with the X12 types. There are some cases where I'm just not bothering right now. Like, I don't really feel like writing a switch statement to convert all these format types. So I'm gonna wait until I figure out my most used format types and just write the abstraction then. So some places I'm abstracting and some places I'm not. I guess I'm just grabbing the low-hanging fruit for now. So I can't quite do some of the abstraction I want to do here yet. So we're gonna hard code some stuff. Spell cute correctly. Impossible addition. Visual Studio's outer formatter will never cease to annoy me. Yeah, well, the problem is I want some of the formatting, but not all of it. Sure, but I would rather not have those types of comments in my code drift on. I don't know. They're kind of like visual clutter to me. But also, welcome in. How are you doing? Okay. Oh, I'm blind. Don't mind me. A little tired and depressed, but working through it. Hope whatever it is, you're able to get through it. Oh my gosh. So, I really hope y'all didn't hear that feedback, because that about blew out my eardrums. I hit the wrong button. Taco! How's the tacos, new trucker? Now the question is whether or not by declaring this function as const, if that has unforeseen consequences. Consequences. Yep, so I can't declare that as const. Ripperoni. Oh well. I tried. Oh, there goes Visual Studio messing up my formatting. Oh, that's likely because Visual Studio is obscenely slow at IntelliSense. So sometimes we can wait up to 30 seconds for it to decide to actually parse the file. Super annoying. So one of these days I'm gonna swap back to Vim, but I just haven't done it yet. Oh no, it would be near Vim. I kind of just lumped them together in my head, but no. I just have to add in a couple scripts for compiling and I could do it. I just have been a bit lazy, that's all. Well, it's not so much like the energy I'm saving. It's just like, I just simply haven't gotten around to it. Like, it's one of those things, like, I know Visual Studio is going to get super slow the more code I write. So my reasoning is Visual Studio is just going to force me into it. And it hasn't yet. What is Bloodshed Dev C++? I haven't heard of that. Oh, I know. Okay. How do I want to do this? Oh, it's a Yugen. How is the Yugen doing? So I guess the solution, so I was wanting to avoid having to pass the global context into the swap chain because it does need to persistently call these. Or I would have to pass in the global context for freeing, so you'd have to remove the destructor, which is fine by me. And presenting and resizing. I think for now, we'll just pass in the CPU, the descriptor allocator. And then if we have to start passing more, we'll make an adjustment. I was one of the first C++ IDEs used study Visual Studio. Oh, interesting. You're doing okay, Yugen? That's great to hear. I'm doing all right. I got a persistent cough, but we're making do so far. Welcome in, Ren West. How are you doing? I don't know. Nova made some really good omelets tonight. But I should make tacos more often. They are really tasty. You know, I probably have all the ingredients to make tacos, actually. If I make it with turkey meat instead of beef. Maybe I'll do it Friday. I want to make fried rice. Either tomorrow or Thursday. I made fresh pasta this morning for breakfast. Oh, that sounds super tasty. almost never eat breakfast. Largely due in part, I start working at 9 o'clock, and I'll usually roll out of bed at like 8:50. So there's about enough time to get ready and make coffee. But it was 5 a.m. and you wanted pasta. Understandable. You know what? I want to be a bit more explicit. Render target descriptor heap. I mean, I should be getting enough calories. Possibly, I think, perhaps. I don't know, I don't track it. Collectible Unland figure when? Probably never. You know what? I can probably guarantee you never. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it never. Well, I am probably going to get a slate redesign soon because I'm working on a 3D model. All right, almost there. Wait, I'm not doing it. There we go. Closer. So that should get our swap chain going. And it just leaves a little bit more. Well, hello there, semicolon. How are you doing? How was your stream earlier? So, I think that'll get us everything. Probably got some issues here and there. Let's go ahead and delete these functions. We're gonna momentarily take out this frame cache. I'll deal with that in a minute. Now, the swap chain does need to get deended before our descriptors do. Whoops. Unless, of course, we crash. Why are we crashing? Stream was nice. We mostly gift off. Sounds like a fun stream. I'm doing well. I'm glad you're doing well too. D312 is steady progress. I was gonna start on just GPU visible descriptors tonight, but it's mostly been a lot of refactoring. Wait a moment. Is that a C manner I'm seeing? How is Cam doing? You're if I remember correctly, you're taking this week off, right? Prepping for your re-debut. Y'all, if y'all like watching art streamers, y'all should 100% go follow Cam. Super, super cool artist. Really awesome stream. I am a serial lurker. And really love Cam's art. Maybe like 2 weeks. I was just trying to get some temp overlays done. Ooh, that's exciting. I can't wait. Can't wait to see it. It's a stew working in the background. Oh, I'm doing all right. Just doing some lazy programming for tonight. And as part of our refactor, we came across a crash, and I don't know why. It is, yeah, I don't understand it either. It's a lot of code just to be able to call this one function. Just trying to make the window magenta. I mean, the resource looks valid. Speaking of really cool artists, we got a cat sneaking in, who y'all should also go follow if you like watching artists. Get ambush nerd. How's the cat doing? Oh, I removed affiliate a couple weeks ago. By a couple, I guess I mean last week. But no more redeems. You're fuming. I know you must be so upset at my 3 redeems that have been removed. But if you were looking to share art, you're always welcome to. Lost all those 50,000 points. Oh no. I'm sure Twitch stores it. Maybe one day you'll get them back. Oh, there are a few. Mostly I just don't like ads. Absolutely. I would love to see more of the cult. Oh, you did a drawing for Ina. Oh, not from All Alive. Okay. That's who I immediately thought. You don't draw. Understandable. So, okay, I actually don't know where this access violation is coming from. Like, these are all valid references. My command list is also valid. Make sure that Discord's not going to do its silly thing and open up on a wrong monitor. Oh my gosh, cat. That is awesome. Lots of fun. Who are the top two? I don't recognize them. But I do see a very, very fluffy tail. So, the way it works, I guess when you cancel affiliate, anyone who has already a subscription gets to keep it until it expires. So if you were subscribed before I canceled affiliate, you get to keep it. So the one of Ina is Twitch safe. So I'll show you all this one. I also think, Stu, it had to do with the timing. Look how awesome this looks. Absolutely love the line art. And of course, little Fink. Might have been too soon after the renew. Oh, I see. Cool. I'm at a complete loss. I don't know where this access violation's coming from. We'll still have emotes on Discord. Whenever I go full 3D, I plan on getting new emotes and refreshing those. And as long as the artist for those is okay with it, I'll probably put them on BTTV. So if you have that extension, you'd be able to use it. but I don't know when I'll get to that. We'll see, we'll see. Yeah, I'm working on a model. I ended up deciding to buy a base model and adjust it from there. And Blender is hard, so it's taken me a while. And I honestly don't spend enough time per week. I am not going to have a hat initially. I'm going to work on it incrementally. I'm going to get it to an acceptable state and then start using the model and then improve it over time. Otherwise, I'll just never use it. You'll have to hone your skills in Live 2D soon. Heck yeah. Did you get a commission for Live 2D? Oh, okay. All the cool kids are on. I noticed a lot of new links to VGen, and I don't exactly know what that is. I guess I mostly saw it over on Allie's stuff. Or at least I don't know what sets it apart from, what's Ko-Fi? Oh, I see. So there's a bit of an application process. So now I definitely go through and pass everything along. Present queue. What was the other one? Render target. Make sure all of those are valid. Oh. That is a very interesting system, especially with how Twitter is these days. Wow, I have very much broke something. Oh gosh. Oida will provide you a code. Good, good. Gosh darn it, Cat. Sending me notifications. Oh, okay, hold on. A freaking Discord. I caught it in time that time. Discord actually very frequently crashes for me. And of course, it's too hard for Windows to open it on the same monitor it crashed on. So, yeah. I am very confused right now. This was a render type RTV, wasn't it? It needs to be a render target view. Yeah, that is an appropriate emote. I even have it where if I minimize Discord on stream and then for whatever reason have to go open it, it'll just open on a random browser. So I always have to be careful that no matter like what I was doing, I always leave it like go back to my Discord server just so I don't like, it doesn't pull up DMs from friends and stuff. It's really annoying. Discord lives in the web browser, otherwise you would never remember to launch it. I guess I spend too much time on Discord. I mean, there doesn't look like I'm doing anything special here. It all looks the same to me. So why are we crashing? Wow, it's an alley. How is the alley doing? You know what? We're on a roll for shouting out all the cool artists. So another really cool artist to go follow if y'all like watching really comfy art streams. Oh, hello, Sihon. Hope you're doing well too. I feel like it's gotta be due to one of these two lines. So it's either from the descriptors or you had coffee today? Oh, do you not normally drink coffee? Oh, not this one. Hold on. Here we go. So this was my previous D3D12 backend. It is what I'm using as like a reference as I go through and refactor stuff. Here we are. Yep, totally supposed to be a render target. Aww. How is the coffee? Oh no, not the coffee machine. Honestly, very. Why are you awake? Aw, I hope everything's going okay, Allie. Because I know a lot of that can be super stressful. Well, welcome in, Yang. How are you doing? So we are definitely passing the render target view descriptor heap. They are initialized. And we make sure to create our render target views from it. Throws a cookie. Honestly, it's not when you sleep, but how much you sleep. We all have our own little sleep schedules. Some are a bit more chaotic than others. But I'll still continue to tease Nova about hers. And I'm gonna feel bad if she fell asleep and isn't actually able to hear me, poke fun. Well, hello, Manadono. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Doing pretty good. Good, good. It really doesn't look like I'm leaving anything out here. Back buffer counts. You know what? It's probably a good idea to make sure everything initialized correctly. I'm doing good. I got a bit of a persistent cough, but it seems like I'm able to talk for the most part tonight. So that all looks good. So let's take a look at so all of our descriptors should be null descriptors. Same thing with our fence values and back buffers. Well, Barry, it'll be a little hard for me to wear them if you get them, but I'm all for you wearing them. You should do it. What were we multicasting? You will remember that. Yeah. Pats for the owl. Okay. Looks like our descriptors are good. We got 2 initialized. Looks like they're 32 away from each other, which is the correct stride. And then we got both our back buffers, which look good. Our handles initialized, our back buffer index should be 0, and width and height are fine. Fence values should all be 0. I mean, everything looks correct. So let's take a look at what it looks like when we get to here. Still all looks good to me. Oh, it's just a resource now isn't getting initialized correctly. And I am not seeing what it is. We're crashing putting down a resource barrier. Wish you had the strength to use a mouse and keyboard with gloves on. It can be a little hard. It is always a little nerve-wracking because I am a little terrified at the camera, for whatever reason, falling. But so far we haven't had any issues. Wait a moment, wait, no, that's obviously not initialized. There we go. Like, that's a valid handle. That's a valid back buffer. Has the correct format. It's all good. That's the correct descriptor. We get the handle to the resource. Nothing out of the ordinary. Oh gosh. Did you end up having to get a new fan too? I remember you saying your motherboard got smashed up, but I hope the CPU, I don't remember what the state of the fan of your CPU and fan was. It's reserved. I wonder. Oh, that was the issue. It's times like this where I'm like, why the heck am I using C++? I'm gonna be right back. I gotta use the restroom. Enjoy a magenta screen while I'm gone. Honestly, Doohoo, I swear, I have thought about doing it. But I'll be right back. Alright, I've returned. Wait, I see Fox saying hi ethics. Did I miss an ethics? Also, welcome in Doohoo. How is Doohoo doing? I hope you're Doohoo-hooing well. Oh, it's near end. How is your end doing? Or I mean a Leah end. Leah Rent. How goes it? Oh, you actually have work tonight? Aw. So, how goes progress on your year? Did you hold on. I know the title of your game was up for a while. It's like, Hello, I Am Bear. So, your end is really close to releasing a game, everyone. It even has a Steam page up. Really close. Shh, it's okay. It generates hype, right? It might be this year, yeah. I saw that you had a whole bunch of client requests all at once. Gosh, the timing on that. But I hope all that work's going well. So, I think this is okay. I do need to refactor how this works, but not right now. At the moment, we don't need to. Oh, but yeah, that bug. Basically, when we were going to assign our swap chain here, since we default initialized it, up here, it was destroying the old version, so calling the destructor on it, constructing the new swap chain, copying the new swap chain, and then destructing the swap chain we just constructed. It should be moving it, but it was invoking the copy constructor. So our swap chain was getting destroyed when it shouldn't have been. It's like it's the part about C++ that I really don't like. Yep, I've been staring at this bug for a while and I'm just like, all the pointers are valid. What's going on? It honestly just makes me want to revert to using classes revert to using structs for everything. Just not touch a class with a 10-foot pole or something, I don't know. But, welcome in Gabrielle and Frog. How are y'all doing? Whoops, I just bumped the mic. hate it when things get destroyed when they shouldn't be. For real, for real. So, I'm gonna wrap this stuff back into a... I don't really want to do this at the moment. I want to start thinking about the GPU descriptors. Yay, 2 hours in, we're starting the actual goal for the stream. Procrastinating on coding. I should do that. Well, I had a goal. We're not really going to start on it. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is I have to dig through my old implementation and figure out how to do this. Hello, welcome in, Cabbage. And I hope you're doing well and you have a good lurk. Appreciate you stopping by. Oh, it's a monotone. How's the monotone doing? Yeah, look at me. Yeah. You know, I'm a goal-oriented programmer. Or something. Monotone's doing alright. Good. I request that Monotone give Daigo's pacts. It is very imperative that this happens. Good. Sound like object-oriented? Absolutely. Except instead of objects, we do goals. It's a natural successor to, was it test-oriented programming or something? Test-driven. I don't remember the name of it. Constantly demands head pats. Good. TDD. Yeah. I might have a rant or two up my sleeve about TDD. So, the way my descriptors worked previously, or these descriptors, hop over here. Here's our root signature. Would maintain like a bit mask of the bindings for it. And then it would more or less pass that bit mask to our dynamic descriptor heap. And we would basically keep track of this and use that bit mask to determine how and when we binded things. And I had a system in place so that you never bound basically to the same bit twice unless you cleared the bit mask or changed what was bound to that bit. Which works, of course. It's just, I don't want the command list to do this because It was a super generic system, and I want that to be responsible. Whatever render pass or what we're doing should be responsible for setting up GPU visible descriptors. So yeah. Have I considered writing perfect code the first time? I have. Yeah, I'll consider it. Wow, it's a Yuki. How is the Yuki doing? Sometimes I'm a witch. Getting a little food before bed. Nice. What's for dinner? If you want to share. Other times I can't. So I've been struggling at working on my 3D model in Blender, and I am very strongly tempted to just lean into being a cat. Welcome in, Regulate Grio. Thank you for the follow. I hope you're doing well. So, I guess how I'm trying to do. Cat's easier to model. I mean, I still have to like make the ears and tail, so same difficulty. Especially because I don't know how to do it. Blender is hard, and I am dumb. Nothing but the finest gray feast, microwave beans with tiny sausage and bread. A feast for champions. Honestly does sound tasty. Programming's going slowly. We're just now starting what I wanted to do for stream today. I got a little distracted looking for bugs and doing a bit of refactoring. What kind of keyboard do I have? Oh, what's the brand name? But welcome in, Livia Brisk and Devil. How are y'all doing? I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go check the locks on my door. We have had someone going up and down the hall on our floor screaming for the past couple of nights. He even tried to push his way in. Well, not push his way, but open the neighbor's door. I was banging on it for a while. It's getting pretty bad. It is absolutely terrifying. So if you hear me anxiously like stand up and walk towards the door, that's why. I do not handle screaming well. Oh, where is it? So if I wasn't such a pig at remembering names. Oh, it's a key cron. There it is. So, very late answer, but that's the keyboard. I swapped the starting soon screen because Discord half the time doesn't open on the correct monitor. Yep, I already had it crash, and like Cal was sending me art, and while I was trying to like pull it up, Discord crashed and then tried to open on my main monitor. So I had to hurry and swap the scenes. Well, Very, I hope you have good sleeps. I hope Civ 5 was fun. I almost got cat arted. Imagine showing that. Yeah. I suppose it would have been fine. It's mostly safe for work. I guess, so the question ends up being, how generic should the system be? Right? So I don't want it as generic as last time. But I did, by and large, like this system. I guess the fundamental problem is I don't necessarily want to have to constantly requesting multiple descriptor heaps. I would like multiple render passes to share an active descriptor heap in case they didn't fill it up. So that stages the descriptors. Where do we actually get the GPU handle? Oh, did Aaron accidentally pull up Cat's cult drawing on stream? That is wonderful if you did. I approve. So here we go. Most of this behavior can be offset to kind of a per render pass descriptor heap. But I'm a little unsure how it can pre-allocate its descriptors. I suppose if here's what we could do. We can say as just like as a first attempt at the system, that a render pass will know it's set up for bindings because we have that bit mask. It should know how many times it issues a draw call. So it can use that to figure out the number of GPU descriptors it needs in a frame. So at the start of render, it just pre-allocates all the GPU descriptors it needs. And that's it. So I was already planning on passing this around. So we have a two-tier structure. We have something like a global descriptor allocator. And then inside of inside of our render pass, I don't know, it might look like something like this. Perhaps we have a descriptor allocation. And then almost all of our API from before can be the same. We just have to allocate kind of or not allocate, but separate the descriptor, like memory management, from its actual usage. So that'll let us kind of share descriptor heaps across render passes and just minimize the number of heaps we have to create. I think that works. But before I get started on that, I have been meaning to organize this file a little bit because I've been adding a whole bunch of stuff and not fixing it. Utility.cpp doesn't actually do anything. Correct. So we're going to delete this file. I had a suspicion. Oh, the alignment. We must have alignment. So this is where it starts to get really tricky. It's making sure we put the right behavior in the right spot. So this goes here. So this is another thing that gets a little tricky. We have to make sure things get synchronized per frame. So one thing we could do is I'm going to have a per frame cache of just like per frame data. We could just have a descriptor pool per frame in this cache, which I think works pretty well. that would pass off the responsibility of the descriptor heap to know when it's allowed to reset its pools. Which is a strategy I would much rather do, I think. I'm trying to decide what the best approach for this would be. Because we have the backing memory, and then we have our available set of that. And that's available. I mean, I could kind of do a really cursed pool implementation if I wanted to. Cursed, you say? Yep. So we convert this like double pointer into like a next linked list. But I don't want to do that. Linked lists, pretty much. I mean, pretty much what I did is I would copy this array over here, which I honestly don't want to do. So here's what we're going to do instead. There shouldn't be many of these. And what we're going to do is, no, I'm not even going to do that. What we'll do is we'll always, every single frame, just always go through this list linearly. So rather than keeping like a separate list of what we can use, what we'll do is just like next available heap. Much easier, much easier to understand. Very similar setup, but it's just like a pool. Nothing complicated is going to go in here. Now, the complicated parts. Are about to come. Spooky. Something like that. It's a frosh. Oh, I'm seeing a descriptor handle cache here. I don't remember why I kept this around. And by we, I mean me. I don't know what past me was thinking. So let's find out. So it's a fixed array, pretty much. For real, especially since none of this is commented, or rather, some of the design parts are not commented. And I'm 90% sure. I'll totally remember this. Nothing to worry about. So this should be a fixed size. Yes, this should most definitely be a fixed array. Okay, where'd it go? But I feel like this is not going to be a valid approach. I'm probably going to have to move this to allocation. Actually, you know what? Oh gosh, my voice. I think I know what this is. Okay. Let me find, it'll probably be in stage at descriptors. Yes. Okay, here's what I did. Has since our dynamic descriptor allocator did not actually know how many CPU descriptors it needed to keep around. Whoa, shaking all my monitors, gesturing. And we only ever actually copied them into a GPU heap when we really needed to. So what we did was we just allocated an array that was equal to the number of GPU descriptors for that page, which would satisfy all cases. I don't want to do that. So I'm being a little indecisive on what that implementation should look like. If I go back to somewhere, here we go. My intended API is supposed to be something like this. So you have some struct called renderPass, and I wanted to implement it somehow. Maybe like, oh, I don't know, clear Swapchain pass. A demonstration, I wouldn't actually do this. So maybe call it the pre-Z pass or something. So what I'm kind of wanting is like render pass to like, if there's going to be a lot of like common state and a little bit of state management across all render passes, I would think. So like I would expect the pre-Z pass to want some descriptors, like we're going to have to, I don't know, maybe run a quick compute to generate the Z pyramid. I don't know. Or the depth pyramid. We have to bind resources. And I want this pre-Z pass to be able to say it needs like 3 SRV descriptors and needs 1 UAV descriptor. So I wanted to be able to like specifically from this allocation, although this would be more like an array of max descriptor types. But in this case, it only ever needs 3 SRV descriptors and CPU descriptors and 1 UAV CPU descriptor. But let's pretend if this is like the forward pass or something, where we're drawing a lot of objects. But at the start of the frame, we probably know how many objects we want to render. Or at least an upper maximum. I guess there's also the alternative of a resource allocates a GPU a descriptor for itself on a frame on first request, rather than a binding, which would move descriptor management out of the render pass, which would simplify stuff. I am sorry, this probably sounds like I'm absolutely rambling right now. I mean, I assume if one pipeline, like we create a SRV for a material table, right? GPU SRV. I wouldn't need more than 1. In a frame, I can just rebind this however many times I want. So, if I push this idea a bit farther, I wasn't really wanting to set up bind lists at the onset, but I mean, I totally could, right? Or, I don't know, let's pretend for a moment. We have our, what did I call it before? Material storage. Yeah, I'm glad it's cozy, I guess. I sort of have like a very loose vision of how I want things structured. But I don't have like exactly how things get separated. Oh gosh. So, I guess kind of the thing I was wanting to avoid was these little storage sections. I was wanting them to avoid having to do something like this. Right? And part of the reason for this is because this number, max frames and fright, could possibly change. Like, that's not always guaranteed to be the same. So I was wanting to avoid making, like, having to do this, like, forced rebuilding of all of these different, like, systems. If, say, we resize the window or the swapchain gets in a funky state, where the number of back buffers change. So I'm not entirely sure what the approach to build this per frame cache should be. I mean, one thing we could do is have this descriptor state. It's like allocated, we don't even have to do this. right? So we could just like every frame is just set this to 0. Just basically clear it. So when we request this material array, we just set it at the start of a frame. Just all its GPU, and then we bind it. The one binding to rule them all. Which is pretty much how bindless goes, right? I think the only question is it necessary to keep CPU visible descriptors around? If we're just going to create these GPU descriptors like this every single frame. Or do we material data, material storage, and then I'm going to have another like, is it important to keep around like a compressed cache of a storage? So So the approach then would be is every single frame we iterate through the material storage, and all active materials gets copied into this GPU cache. And then after we finish filling the cache, we then initialize all of our GPU descriptors. And if that's the case, we don't actually need those CPU descriptors. I think I'm right on that. I don't know if Frog or Monotone's listening. Who could sanity check me on this? Oh. Is that New Joker trying to convince me to use Godot? Oh, Frog, I'm thinking about the bindless setup because, I don't know, the more I was talking myself through setting up these descriptors, the less I was liking it. So I was bringing myself into like the greater context of how an actual use case would look like. So previously what I would do is for every single resource, I would create a CPU descriptor for it. And then when it gets bound to a pipeline, I would then create a GPU descriptor. The problem with that was, one, you would end up with multiple GPU descriptors per resource if it gets bound multiple times. And then two, there's just a lot of copying because you have to copy the CPU descriptor to the GPU descriptor. So I was thinking, like, if we're looking at a bindless setup, so we bind our material data, let's say, at the start of a frame. So ignoring descriptors for a moment, what you would have is your material storage. So what you've cached on the CPU. And now the problem with the storage is, one, it's likely sparse. And then two, all of your materials might not be active. So maybe, for whatever reason, the app state has hidden geometry. So that would be an active material. And now what we could do is just have all that data on the GPU all the time, which is all right. I suppose that would work. But if, like, I don't know, if I was going the extra mile with this, our actual GPU buffer would contain all of the active materials at the moment. And that would mean the number of GPU descriptors just has to equal the number of materials in this cache. And it lets us just have this cache be compact. Anyways, it also lets us get rid of all of these CPU descriptors. So, like, once a frame, we fill this cache or update it. And then initialize all of these GPU descriptors. All of this at the start of a frame. That was a lot of rambling. Again, my apologies if that came out just completely nonsensical. Of course, if, like, we're fine with, like, this entire storage being on the GPU no matter what, we could just combine these two, and this just becomes GPU, CPU visible, which is all right. Which is probably what I'll do at the start. And then what we'll do is, I guess, put in all descriptors in empty storage slots. But I still feel like well, here's what we could do. Yeah, I guess the whole problem I'm running into is I was wanting the storage to not have to think about how many frames in flight there could be. So if I let that one go, then this just becomes simple. GPU descriptor allocation, similar to GPU buffer, as part of its initialization will just, I don't know, like, allocate the number of frames in flight it needs. And then we can just know, I guess, based on the frame count and whatnot, what frame to use, which is honestly just the simplest approach. It's probably what I should do. Oh, don't worry about it, Frog. No worries. I appreciate you, like, taking a few moments to think about it anyways. Also, thank you for the follow, Tribal. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I think the best solution for now is just make the concession that these bindless storage types or systems will need to know the number of frames in flight. It just means when we resize, it's just going to be a lot more expensive. And I think that's an alright concession to make. Because, like, how often are you going to have a user sit here and do this? I'm actually going to crash this because, I don't know, Windows. I'm actually surprised that didn't just crash because I haven't implemented resize on the swap chain. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it'll be that often a user sits here and does this. And what I might even do, I'm probably like initializing so much memory. Or not. Okay. And if it is a problem, what I'll do is I'll whoa. That's a lot of lagging. I'm doing something wrong somewhere, but I'll probably just freeze drawing until you release like this. So we just won't resize the swap chain. Because you're not going to sit here and do this. Wait, come on. There's that crash. I was waiting for it. But, yeah. Anyways, I think I've come to a conclusion, which is mostly just simplify what I'm thinking. I got a better idea now. You hate applying thermal paste. I know it's super stressful because you want to make sure you have enough, but not too much, but also not too little. But best of luck, Lane. You got this. I'm gonna go ahead. I think and end stream for the night. My voice is really starting to go. And if I want to stream Thursday, I don't want to stress it too much. But thank you all for being here. Yeah, I'll probably stream Thursday around the same time, if I can. But I am going to read the The Wonderful Dragon. I'd really appreciate it if y'all stuck around just for a few minutes. Who's a really cool game developer, and every Friday I'm over on his channel playing Factorio. The factory must grow. But yeah. I wish you all a good time zone, and maybe I'll see you later.